Welcome to the Franklin County N.C. podcast. I'm James Hicks.
And I'm Alyssa Blair Zimmerman.
And this is a podcast about Franklin County, North Carolina. On our broadcast, we hope you'll learn a few things that you didn't know about Franklin County, North Carolina, plus some helpful tips for you in your daily lives. On today's episode, we are joined by Sam Seifert, who is the Executive Director of Operations at Maria Parham Franklin. And we're going to get caught up with what's been going on at Franklin County's hospital site, as most people will refer to it as. So welcome to the podcast, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm good, James. Thanks for having me. Alyssa, good to see you too.
You as well.
So we always talk about this, and everybody's eyes were on me when I was pronouncing your last name to make sure I get it right. So
you got it.
I got it this time.
You did.
And nobody will know. We could always redo the take. So you don't know if I actually did or not.
And break.
And break, yeah. So actually back when I first started, that wouldn't have been the thing that I would have most likely gotten wrong, because I believe when I started, I said Maria Parham. And I was corrected as Maria Parham.
That is correct.
But I'm looking at Maria Parham, and so I've caught on. So let's talk about.
I really wish I had gotten just a heads up that you were going to say that before we started.
You cracked
Maria
Alyssa.
Parham. That kind of sounds like
I've never heard her called that before.
So, and I did it in my voice. It's the translation voice from like Iron Chef. I always used to watch that, and every time Chef Morimoto was on, like, he speaks English. He is speaking English. I understand what he's saying. They even close caption it, but they go even further to have someone else overly exaggerated in English. So he would say, like, I like making sushi with a bit of a Japanese accent. Mm-hmm. And then you have the guy come on, I like making sushi. And you're like, was that really necessary? I understood. I heard what he said. I could even read it. You had to have the guy also say it. That always kind of cracked me up. So we got way off. So let's go to asking you about where you're from.
Well, James, I grew up just next door to Franklin County in Vance County in Henderson. And was actually born at Maria Parham in Henderson a long time ago. But I'm a product of Vance County.
Okay. I do appreciate your pronunciation of Henderson, because that's exactly the way I would pronounce it too. When I first got here, people were like, it hurts my throat to try to get that. It's like there's a U or something in it, and I can't do it. I'm sorry. I grew up in Greenville, South Carolina. There's your one from the previous, if you're going to start counting. And I'm used to Henderson County and Hendersonville. Mm-hmm. So when I see this, I'm like, that's Henderson. And they're like, what did you just call it?
Yeah. Now I could, this is my professional voice talking. So I'm really enunciating the Henderson, but I could really give it a,
what does your local voice say it as?
Yeah, it is Henderson.
Okay. See, that's where, and I'm like, that's where? Okay. It doesn't help with North Carolina that the counties and cities don't all fall with it. So, number 2, Greenville, South Carolina is in Greenville County. Spartanburg, South Carolina is in Spartanburg County.
Oh, that makes sense.
Hendersonville is in Henderson County, but Henderson is not in Henderson County. It's in Vance County. So, that's one of those things that throw you off. We all the time are getting the town of Franklin calls.
Oh, yeah.
And it couldn't be, there's probably barely any place in North Carolina farther away from Franklin County than the town of Franklin.
Right.
So,
which is in the mountains, right?
Yeah. Yes. It's
beautiful town, by the way. Shout out to town of Franklin.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
Yeah. I cannot pronounce the forest.
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. It's in.
Nantahala?
Yes. That. I had somebody from the visitor center and Greensboro, Virginia border was reaching out to me for more brochures on that, and I'm like, we don't have a state forest in Franklin County. I'm sorry.
Do you mean Norlina?
No, I think it was the other one.
Cut this part out. This is not part of this.
Well, we'll just okay. What if they're counting the number of Greenville, South Carolina ones? But let's get back to Henderson.
Yeah.
So how long have you worked with the Maria Parham?
So I've been with the organization since June of 2022, when my family and I moved back home, so to speak. We were most recently down in Atlanta, Georgia, where I was working for a large health system down there, Emory University and Emory Healthcare, for about 6.5 years prior to coming back home and joining Maria Parham.
How long you been away from Henderson during that time period? Was it just for that one little stint?
No, since I left to go to college. So 27 plus years ago, I was away. I mean, now I came back to visit because I've got family there, and my wife is also from Henderson as well, and so my in-laws are there, but yeah, it's been a long time since we had an address in Henderson. Yeah.
And where did you go to school?
So growing up locally, I graduated from Carvance Academy in Henderson, and from there I went to Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem. Got my bachelor's degree there. Worked for a few years out of college, and then ultimately went back to get my master's in health administration degree from Virginia Commonwealth, which is in Richmond, Virginia. So I lived and worked and then went back to school in Virginia for a few years, and then I went back to Winston-Salem to do what's called an administrative residency, which is part of my schooling. I didn't graduate until I actually finished my year-long residency, but I did that with North Carolina Baptist Hospital in Winston-Salem, which is part of it's part of the Wake Forest University Baptist Medical Center, which is now Atrium Health, and it's gone through a bunch of different iterations. But big, large teaching hospital in Winston-Salem, and we lived there for 12 plus years or so until I got an opportunity to go down to Atlanta and work. So that's kind of bringing me full circle then back to
North home.
Yeah. I think it was something about I was in Atlanta during the pandemic, and I think something about that time period changed. At least it changed me, and it changed a lot of us in terms of what we put priority on, and talking with my wife. One of our priorities that we talked about a lot was getting back closer to our families here in North Carolina. Now, I didn't know, the doors that would open that would necessarily lead right back to Henderson per se. We just knew we wanted to get back closer. But you know how things tend to work out, and so we're thankful to be back home. And so I started in June of 2022 in Henderson.
Okay. And you just somewhat recently became executive director of operations at Maria Parham Franklin, right?
I did. Right after the turn of the calendar year, probably along the February time period, I transitioned from Henderson and took another role within the organization that puts me here at our Franklin County campus and Lewisburg specifically, and to help run our operation that we have down here.
Yep, and those that have been faithful to the podcast and listening since day one, you'll remember Emily Johnson was on. She was executive director of operations at the time, and she moved up to vice president of operations. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then you moved into that role. So, what does an executive director of operations do?
Well, basically, I provide the on-site administrative leadership and direction for day-to-day operations at our campus here, and so it's really helping. It's helping our directors. I'm not a clinician, but the directors look to me, to help them out on a day-to-day basis with, making sure they've got the right resources they need, the right supplies, the right everything to kind of make their operation run as smoothly as possible. So I like to be that on-site presence and resource for our team to be able to collaborate with me to make, our Franklin County campus run as efficiently and effectively as possible to serve our community and population here. Because I know there was a time, for a period of time where, the hospital was not open until Maria Parham was able to come back in and help reopen the doors and kind of the version that it is today.
Yep.
So we're happy to have a presence here, and we're looking to continue to grow our presence here and serve as many people as we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So remind everyone, what are Maria Parham Franklin? So I think it was it 2017?
Around there.
2018?
I want to say 2018.
2018, okay. So it's been, we're looking at 7 years now. And I've been here 3.5, so I've been through half of the time since y'all been here. So I know when we probably, things have probably changed since when I had Emily on to talk about the operations. So what are the services that are offered at Maria Parham Franklin?
Yeah, let's talk about what we offer to the community and surrounding area here from our campus. So I'll start first with we offer emergency room services. We have what we call a freestanding ER, emergency room. We have 11 beds, and close to roughly 13,000 visits annually to our small but mighty emergency room.
Yeah.
So that's really, that serves as really the front door to the facility and to most hospitals for that matter. I mean, the ER is kind of the front door to the hospital. So in addition to emergency services, we also have radiology capabilities, CT scanner, X-ray. We have lab capabilities. So those are two fundamental kind of pieces that you need in order to diagnose and treat those that present to the ER if they need that. So those really complement each other. And then the other significant piece that makes up our Franklin campus is our behavioral health services that we offer. So we have a total of 33 behavioral health beds on our campus. 20 of them are for adult population, so over 18 and under 55. And then we have a geriatric behavioral health unit, and that's 13 beds, and that's 55 and up. So we're really proud of that offering. It's a unique service that we have at Maria Parham, and it really helps. Our campus here helps complement the services we offer at our full service facility, if you will, down in Henderson, which is only 20 plus minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is the distance there, because it's not that far.
Yep.
Up to Henderson. So we've one of the things that when you were talking, that stood out to me, and I'm sure that places are like this when you have any types of hospital services or whatever. But one of the things that I feel like has impressed me, and maybe it's just me, is that really since I've been here, there's been a really great relationship between our emergency medical services department here at Franklin County and meeting with Maria Parham and on a regular basis to figure out things, solve problems and stuff like that. It just feels like there's been a really good cooperation between that. And that's what I've observed. That might be everywhere, but I at least here was like, well, that's pretty cool. I like to see that, people working these things out and figuring out how to improve and do things better. And,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great relationship we have with Franklin County EMS. We do meet monthly formally, to kind of just and myself and our director of our ED, Donna Crudup, we travel just around the corner down the street to the EMS office, and we sit down in their environment, and we just have a very informal conversation. How are things going? What can we do better? And on both ends. And it just speaks, I think, to the relationship we have, because we're both here to serve people and to provide the best care that we can. And so there's we need and do have a good working relationship. So that's very helpful.
And I think the same can be said with the community as well, with Maria Parham Franklin and just Maria Parham in general, wanting to connect with the community and the residents. So like you guys recently did a 5K.
We did.
In May, correct?
We did. Gosh, it seems so long ago
It
now.
does.
But yeah, that was the planning for that was well underway before I came into my role, and really, credit my predecessor Emily Johnson for getting that started and seeing it through to its fruition. So yeah, that was probably the last day we had that was actually pleasant and cool. Was back on that race day. It was overcast and a good day for runners and walkers to get out.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of planning that went into that, and a lot of things that come together kind of right at the last second to kind of pull everything off. But that was we had partnership again with Franklin County and EMS and some of the county resources to help with that. So we were very pleased. I think we had over 100 participants.
Oh, that's good.
This is the first one we've ever done. Got a lot of positive feedback. We had folks locally that came. We had folks from Henderson that came over. And I think everybody's looking forward to having the next race in the spring.
I'll tell you, Emily is a huge runner, y'all. I mean, so she and I both live in Oxford, and I run into her a lot at our 5K races over in Oxford. So Emily, I am doing my best to get better at 5Ks. I promise.
Unfortunately she didn't get to run because she was
busy.
She was busy
making sure it was
conducting
filmed. Yeah.
everything. But it really was a success, and we're thankful for everybody who came out.
Yeah.
And we look forward to bigger and better next year. So.
Yeah, and also if you're wondering what Sam looks like, you've watched our EMS week video, you would have seen him because we were preparing our thanks to EMS for EMS week, and when I was tasked with going around and getting people, mostly county employees to say thanks, it kind of popped in the back of my head. Well, let me email Emily, because I didn't. I think at the time I might not have known about the change, and she was like, "Oh no, yeah, we want to help. We want to send y'all a video and stuff like that." So that was a kind of a surprise to EMS leadership, because I didn't tell them about that Maria Parham was going to film some thank you to go into the video.
Yep.
So that was a fun thing to kind of give back to EMS during EMS week.
Yeah, that was the one I did with Donna, right? Yep. So I think it only took 2 takes to get that one. Get that one. It was kind of short and sweet, but that was fun. Oh, and just one more thing on the race. It is we did it not only to bring the community together and to raise awareness for mental health, which is, as I mentioned earlier, one of the primary services we offer at Maria Parham Franklin. It's also to raise some money that we were able to donate to a nonprofit here in town that works in that space, in the mental health space in the community. So again, it's about partnerships and awareness, and we called our race "Stomp the Stigma." There's and that's exactly what we're literally trying to do, to create more awareness, and that we're here to help for those who need it. And that it's as vital a service to the population as EMS services or cardiac services or whatever. It's a need, and we're thankful to be able to provide it.
Yep, and it's good to highlight that too, because I think a lot of people don't realize whether it's business industry or it's even Maria Parham Franklin. Being here, they're also not only providing a service, but they're giving back and some different things. There's a lot of community outreach and giving back there, which is great to see.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we're all human, and we have a tendency to kind of reclude ourselves back into we think about ourselves, and we don't think about how things are impacting others, or how if even though I'm not participating in this, maybe that still has an impact. If we want to move forward as a community, whether this is just in Franklin County or across the United States, you have to do so with partners. You have to do so with understanding and with education and stomping out the stigma of things that you don't necessarily understand.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Agree.
So recently, and this is kind of what spurred on me that we needed to do an update, is the Maria Parham Franklin has started undergoing some renovations. So walk us through kind of what that's about.
Yes. So if you come to our campus right now, it's a bit of a hive of activity, which is different from normal times because we got construction and renovation, as you mentioned, James, going on in two separate areas of our facility. So let me talk about behavioral health first, because that project actually started before the other one that I'll describe. But we are in the process of renovating it's really the former main entrance of the hospital previously, and redoing the front part, and to create what's called an intensive outpatient program space. It's called, if you hear the term IOP, it's outpatient behavioral health services. And so we're renovating some space there, really not unlike the room we're in now, to have some group therapy on an outpatient basis for those that need behavioral health treatment and counseling type services, but it's not on the inpatient level. It's voluntary. It's walk in and have your sessions and you leave. But you do it with some consistency, and it's really designed to be kind of wraparound care for those that might have come from an inpatient setting, and they need a transition period.
Yeah.
And so it's going to really complement what we offer on the inpatient side, and as I said, really provide that kind of wraparound care, so that folks are treated very holistically.
Yeah, and they have a sense of not necessarily safety, but confidence that they're still going to be able to get treatment, even though their inpatient treatment is over. Like they're not going to be just thrown out into the wolves and you're on your own.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So we're working on renovating that space, and it'll accommodate. When it's all said and done, it'll be nice, new, beautiful space, good new furniture, etc. A good. It won't look like a hospital environment.
Yeah.
It'll be more homey, if you
comfortable.
Comfortable. There you go. That's a good word to describe it. And as part of that, there's a couple of bathrooms that are also being renovated that are really, really old, as part of the original building there that was in the 50s. And so, again, it just kind of takes older, unused space and transforms it into newer, usable space. And that's kind of the theme at Maria Parham Franklin, that I'm trying to run with, is to make our, to breathe some new life into our space, and create service offerings that are beneficial. So that's the IOP. Now, if you, on the other side of the building, on the emergency room side, is where we're also undergoing some renovation for 3 of our emergency room pods there, that primarily are spaces where we keep where we treat behavioral health patients that come in through our ER. And this is an offshoot of a larger project that started in Henderson, where Maria Parham, through Advanced Granville Public Health, was able to get I think it was $5 million from the state under what's called a Safe Spaces initiative, and it's designed to make our spaces, i.e. our ER, safer, not only for our patients but for our staff. And so we just wrapped up phase 1 of this initiative in Henderson, and it was a substantial renovation that happened there. And so as soon as we wrapped that up, just recently we moved into phase 2, which pushed it to our Franklin County campus. It's not going to be as involved a renovation as what Henderson just went through, but it is going to transform 3 of our ER rooms and make them safer. There's going to be doors. There's going to be walls erected, whereas before we kind of had a curtain that separated the rooms. It's going to be more substantial, and our triage space is getting as part of that is getting a little makeover as well, and our nurses station is going to have some new cabinetry and some new. It's going to have a fresher look to it. So we're excited about that, and it's underway, and I think we're probably looking at mid-November, so it's going to take a few months, but they're making pretty good progress.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't know how much renovation they did when they come back in, when y'all first come in 7 years ago or so, but I can imagine that it even after 7 years, you probably need a little tweak to the stuff.
It does. Things get beat up pretty good. It's used. It's 24/7, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for what? It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
So
and even COVID, I think, changed the way we do things, and we think about things now that we didn't before. Because when COVID happened, it was like there was so much had to change and to operate, and then now going forward, it's kind of like, well, we don't know if we're going to have that happen again, but we need to kind of think about, if that were to happen again, how we're going to respond to it, because we probably didn't back 7, 10, 15 years ago or whatever.
So that actually brings up a great question. So with being the director of operations and dealing with, having to make sure everybody has the resources and the equipment they need, has COVID, granted we're 5 years out from COVID, but has COVID really impacted the supply chain with the equipment that you need to get, or how does that look now compared to what it was like before?
I'll just say that, obviously during COVID, and on the immediate other side of it, I wasn't at Maria Parham at the time, but I was working at another healthcare organization, and our supply chain was significantly, disrupted. And I mean, that spills over into I think we all felt it too in our personal lives too, in terms of things were on back order, and you just couldn't get things. I think to some degree that has gotten a whole lot better, although the supply chain is still. I think you have to build in longer lead times for equipment that you're ordering, furniture that you're ordering. I think there's still some hangover from that that affects us. But luckily at Maria Parham we've got really good materials management folks who stay on top of all of that stuff. And yes, they might say since COVID their job is more difficult, just because of the entire supply chain has just gotten a little more complex, and there's some barriers in there that they're having to overcome, but it's all a hangover, I think, from COVID for sure.
Yeah, that was supply chain affected everything, because I know, even looking at cars 2.5 years ago, there's a backlog in that because of chips,
right?
The chip manufacturers, and so much. There's just so much that was affected by all that, not just in healthcare, but I feel like it kind of feels like we're kind of every year it's a little bit less bad, and some of those things we've kind of gotten over it in a way. We're getting somewhat back to normal. And
it's not just COVID that affected it, but last year when I guess it was Helene came through, and and the mountains got decimated, mountain areas in North Carolina, and there was a particular plant there. I think it was a Baxter plant that supplies product that is used in healthcare organizations really around the country. That's one of their main kind of production facilities, and that got shut down, and that affected us as well. We had to really work hard to source product, and we did it. But credit to our materials teams who work through that challenge.
Well, I'll just say that, we are all very excited and grateful to have you here. We love working with Emily as well, but we're grateful to have you here in Franklin County, working with Mariah. Let me speak into the mic. Working at Maria Parham in general, but Maria Parham Franklin. You guys are doing great work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're trying to make a difference and grow our presence and what we offer, and just be a value. And added value at that, and serve the community. And Franklin County has welcomed me, which I'm grateful for. I'm part of the Leadership Franklin. I think Alyssa's a classmate of mine in the current class, and I think we're almost through.
I think so.
So that's the chamber runs that program, and it's been really good. I did something similar through Leadership Vance a couple years ago. So this is just kind of gives me some more tools in my tool belt, connections and resources to call upon to continue to grow and build relationships, because that's, as we talked about earlier, I think that's the ultimate key to success for our organization, for us as a county and community, is to to lean on one another and know that you've got partners that can support you as we all try to move forward.
That's what I was going to mention, because we hadn't mentioned about that. JAR and Leadership Franklin 2025.
Yes.
And that's how you guys met, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. So going through that program, had to bring that up because that's how I met Emily Johnson.
Yeah.
Because we were in Leadership Franklin 22.
Yep.
So you get to meet a lot of different people, and really.
And I was going to say, for those who don't know what that is, Sam just said that it is through the chamber, the Franklin County Chamber. And actually, I think pretty much all chambers may do something like this in North Carolina. I'm not sure if it's extended out, but you are a part of this class or cohort mainly, where you go around and you learn more about either companies or the education system, a local government, the healthcare system. You learn about your county. So fun fact, if you were interested in learning more about Leadership Franklin, the applications for the next cohort should be opening in November.
Okay.
November, December, around there.
Yep.
And they can attest to their favorite time during Leadership Franklin was County Day at Franklin County Government.
100%.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm a county employee, and I'm pretty sure that the county manager listens to this.
And I'm not just saying that because I organize it all. So that's one of the things. I actually, when I was in Leadership Franklin, I also organized County Day, and I'd been here less than 6 months. So I was literally taking the tour of the courthouse that I set up for the first time with the group, even though I was the one to set it up. So, and every year I have tried to make it better and better and better. I learned from last year and see what people responded to, or what was easier to do. We learn not to pack too much in, try to let people have some moments, but you learn about different parts of county operations, and I try to make it hands-on. So
I enjoyed County Day, but we have Education Day coming up soon.
We do.
So I'm excited about Education Day.
Okay.
And let me put a plug in for Ag Day too. That was kind of cool.
That's true. Ag Day was really fun.
I really enjoyed that.
What was this stuff called that we learned that they create for food? What's it called? Was it not substrate, was it?
No, but it was a big pile of it.
So if you're listening and you're a farmer and you know what we're talking about, please let me know what it's called. You feed the cows this stuff. It's made with like
old corn,
like old food, old hay, and then it's just kind of compacted together.
Mm-hmm.
What is this stuff called?
Yes.
I need to know.
So in a future episode, we will be talking with Charles Mitchell, the Cooperative Extension Director. So we'll have to ask him. We'll have to ask him when we talk to him about that.
We totally planned that.
Yeah. So we have to look forward to that. I know we'll probably be recording that very soon. So it'll be good to talk about agriculture, because this Franklin County has a long history of agriculture, and I even still have to ask, like, what is that growing over there? Like they just cut the tobacco down. What is that bushy plant that grow? I think it's soybeans. Like
Yeah, soybeans. Sweet
That's my stock
potatoes.
answer to my wife whenever we're
Soybeans.
driving by a field and she says, "What is that right there?" I say soybeans. That's my
Okay.
default answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I think we're not yet sweet potatoes, or sweet potatoes more of a vine or whatever. I had to ask Quentin Cooper from Soil and Water the other day because he happened to be in the office. So, which you can go back and listen to Quentin Cooper on a previous episode. I'm going to plug the podcast every time. But we've gotten throughout. We have talked. Not only we've learned more about Sam, we've learned more about Maria Parham Franklin. Then we learned a whole lot more about leadership Franklin at Chambers, and we're even getting into agriculture. So this has been a jam-packed episode overall. Well, that's about all the time we have left for today. The Franklin County N.C. podcast is produced by Franklin County as a public service to better inform and provide timely and relevant information. Tune in for more informative shows about what is happening in Franklin County. Subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform, like or rate the podcast, and share it with your friends and family. To find out more about Franklin County, North Carolina, go to our website at www.franklincountync.gov and sign up for our new email newsletter while you are there. For all of us here in Franklin County, I'm James Hicks, and we'll talk to you soon.